Hello, welcome to week two update. So this week was about recovering a sense of identity, which super spoke to me because I've been trying to specifically, that's like most of the things I write about is recovering my sense of identity and like who I am outside of school, outside of X, Y, and Z. And I went into this week feeling very unmotivated and sad. I felt like I was... Sorry, I saw someone walking. Anyways. There's a wasp. Anyways, sorry. I went into this week feeling sad and unmotivated because I felt like I was doing it wrong. I am still very much in the mindset of doing it for school and not for myself. So when I read the tasks I need to do, when I read the chapters and understand that, I am very much quick to the mindset of what's the quickest and easiest way I can get this done. But that's just the school mindset. But because I'm doing this for myself, I'm not cheating the system, I'm only cheating myself. And that was one of the revelations I came to terms with this week. And it was quite eye-opening to discover that because I have always been a creative. I grew up a creative. My whole house was a creative. So it's so interesting to now think of creativity as like something separate from something I like to do because it's something I learned in like a job sense. So it was weird to try to switch my brain to the other way of thinking. So I started off the week feeling unmotivated and stressed. It also, like, the way I've been doing it, one of my days off are Wednesday, and so I've been doing my weeks Wednesday to Wednesday, and last week when I had to like read the next chapter, because I felt this sense of like stress and unease and not knowing what I was doing and feeling like I was doing it wrong, I was like pushing off reading the next chapter, which made it worse. And then I was just in this spiral of not knowing what to do. And then when I finally like mustered myself to be able to read it, one of the first captions in the intro paragraph says, as we gain strength, so will some of the attacks of self-doubt. This is normal, and we can deal with these stronger attacks when we see them as symptoms of recovery. Common self-attacks are, okay, so I did okay this week, but it's just a temporary thing. Okay, so I got the morning pages done. I probably did them wrong. Okay, now I need to plan something big and do it right away. Who am I kidding? I'll never recover. Not right away, not ever. And I highlighted and like wrote a note in the margin that says, I've been saying this all week. I've been having these feelings all week. And it was just a really great start to like switch my thinking right at the beginning of the week. And this chapter overall spoke to me more this week because this is something that I've been particularly like worried about and thinking about. Other things I like highlighted and noted were soon enough you will be a bridge that will allow others to cross over from self-doubt to self-expression. Protect your artist by refusing to show your morning pages to interesting bystanders or share your artist date with friends. Trust that you are on the right track. You are. This whole chapter, especially the beginning, just really, like the going sane, really spoke to me because said all the things that I've been thinking, all the things that I've been worrying about, all the thoughts that I've had. It switched my brain, which was a good thing. But I also watched a video of someone else doing their like week 2 recap, of the artist way, and it really put things in perspective, because if other people were struggling the way I was and thinking the way I was and was able to come out the other side stronger and seeing things differently, that also switched my brains. This is like one of the first videos that I haven't done, like where it's like 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm high as fuck. So my brain's like, it's morning, it's like noon. I've been messing around all morning, just fucking around, not doing anything of means, but so my thoughts are all over the place in a different way, to where they feel stuck. And that's kind of what my head has been feeling recently. Yeah, I wrote a few days ago a little just recap of how I was feeling this week, and I'm saying this was maybe a few days ago, just because I've been like kind of behind and like busy with other stuff, and I basically am saying stuff like, I know it works, I just need to let it. I need to trust the process and move with the flow of the material. I need to not read into things and expect crazy changes right away. It's a learning experience, and I need to learn before I can grow. Which those are like really major things that I'd like to keep in my mind. For this like second half of the week, I've been doing this new thing where if I look back at my morning pages, especially because I tried to start somewhat of morning pages before I even started this book, and some of them are just like, so yesterday I did this, and then this happened, and then this is what I want to do today, and then I want to do this, and then I should do this, and da 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 da, and it's categorizing like to-do lists in my head. And I think that was a main reason. I would always be like, I feel like I've run out of things to say. I feel like I have an empty brain and I don't know what else to do about it. But recently I've been starting it, and I saw someone else's video say that this is a good way to start your morning pages, where I start my pages talking about how I feel and not what I need to do for the day. So I woke up feeling this, I feel like this, I was thinking this, and more noting and categorizing my thoughts and my feelings and just like what I'm thinking emotionally, and not like categorizing like my day. Because I remember, like, I think it was like the entry or one of the entries right before I started doing this, like the whole thing was like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I should try to do this today. Oh, let me do this. And then it just stressed out my day because I had like this whole list of things I wanted to do, and I knew it wasn't reasonable to give myself that list, because I'm the type of person that will give myself a list of like 1,000 things to do and only do one and think I'm like the worst person alive. So, starting this new way of thinking where I think I've done it for the past like 3 mornings, and they've come easier, which is interesting. I wouldn't think they would. My morning pages have come easier. I'm able to like, it's one thing that I've had trouble doing is transitioning my thoughts and the way I was thinking in my head into words on the page, because I've never really super been a journaler, and if I was a journaler, I would only journal like when I had the inkling and when I had the thoughts. So this like journaling every morning, for like the first like week and a half, I was like, what the fuck do I write? What do I even say? How am I gonna have 3 pages worth of things to write every day? But since this switch, they've become more stream of consciousness, in the sense of stream of consciousness of my head, and not like what I'm thinking and overthinking about. It's more just like stream of consciousness of what I'm feeling. And I'm getting more to the point where I'm making revelations and making turning points in my writings that I wouldn't be thinking about in my head, because the way I was thinking about it was I was just like writing what was going on in my head, so it was like all the things that I already knew, and it was just stressing me out more. But now I'm writing feelings down and trying to understand where they stem from, and finding new insightful revelations that way, which has been really nice. So let's go to the actual check-in. Now that I've got those words, probably have some more later. But how many days did you do your morning pages, and how was the experience for you? How did the morning pages work for you? Describe them. Which I feel like I did a good amount of describing just now, of how I switched my mindset of my morning pages, which I'm really excited to keep up this morning page switch. I think there's only like 1 or 2 days. I think there was like one day I didn't do, but that's just because I worked super early in the morning. So it was like literally 7 a.m. and I was like, I cannot write right now, which was yesterday morning. And it's always so interesting. I've had like probably a total of, even though this is week 2, I've been writing morning pages for maybe like 3.5 weeks, because I started a little before I started this book of doing the morning writings and such. I've had probably like 2 or 3 days since deeply getting into my morning pages that I haven't done it. And it's so interesting to go through my day without doing my morning pages in the morning, because obviously that's how I used to always live my life. I'm scared my phone's gonna fall. That's how I used to always live my life, obviously, of not doing morning pages and not writing in the morning. But I feel so stuck up in my head when I don't write in the morning, and I feel like I am like halfway living my day kind of, and I'm just like stuck in my head and not fully present and not fully thinking, which is crazy to see, because I'm feeling that my pages and like when I write in the morning, it does make me feel more present in my day and make me feel more able to actually like understand what I'm doing and be more attached to what I'm doing in just like everyday life. So I'm really liking that aspect of when I actually do it. I'm feeling more attached to my day, more present, because that's something I'm trying to be working on, is like more sense of presence and not looking to the future. And I know it sounds bleak, but I've been trying to cut hope out of my mindset, because hope can sound like a good thing, and it's great to hope for things, and it's great to aspire to do more, but hope is a way of distracting yourself from the present, and it's a way of pulling you out of what you're doing right now and aspiring for more and thinking less of what you're doing now. Like the entry I did this morning, because I like literally started and I was like, I could tell my period soon because I'm emotional AF. But I'm just talking about how recently I've been falling into old habits of getting out of my presence and getting out of trying to avoid my own self by whether it's like being on my phone, like just being engrossed in other things that has nothing to do with me. And it really just brings myself, like, I feel like I fall out of myself often when I do that. So I ended my entry this morning. I know I'm not supposed to read them, but this was something that I need to say and I need to remember and I need to like drill into my own brain. I ended it saying, for now, I'm going to try and live in the moment and take what I can from this experience with no ulterior motives and hope for more. I am here now, and that's okay. And it's just seriously what I need to actually drill into my brain and remember, because I get stuck in hoping for more and thinking of the future, and I think that's what I spent a good amount of my childhood doing and a good amount of my like past few years doing. I think that's what I've spent a good amount of my life doing. Hope is always thought of as this big thing that you're supposed to have goals for your future and where do you see yourself in 5 years and what do you want to do and what's next and where you're gonna go. But it's pulled me out of the future or the present, and it's pulled me out of myself so much that I'm beginning to lose who I am as myself. And I think this newfound sense of needing to be present and needing to be here in this life will bring me back into myself, because I also wrote in my entry this morning talking about I used to be so sure of myself and I used to know who I was so much more, but the second I graduated, it was like my world crumbled in, and but the second I graduated, it's like my world and everything I knew came crashing down. Everyone I knew from school moved away to start their next chapter, and I stayed, scared of the next steps, scared of what the future held for me and what my place in all this mess is. I'm worried I stunted myself by not embracing the scary. So, just some light stuff I've been thinking of lately. Let me just finish this up because I need to stop gabbing and rabbing on. Did you do your artist date this week? Yes. My artist date this week is I went to get myself a Moldavite ring. Boom. I've been meaning to get myself a Moldavite ring because I feel like this would be a nice just extension into me trying to find myself and me trying to better myself and me trying to understand what my life is for me and not for anyone else. And that's something I've also had to come to terms with, is you really just have to understand that you solely are in control of your life and you are living your life for yourself and no one else. I worried I made steps to... I got embarrassed for a second. People were walking by. Anyways, that was weird. Sorry. I don't know. What was I even talking about? I don't even know. But I don't know. I think I've said most of my thoughts that I feel and most of the thoughts that I've been thinking recently. Okay. That's really, I think, all I have to say. I'll catch up with you next week. The next chapter is recovering a sense of power. So we'll see how that goes. But hope to see you. Peace.